Hi and welcome back. My name is Elna and for this video, we're going to talk about some headline templates that are made for copywriters. These are going to be catchy and optimized headlines for you. All right, so let's get right into it. Headline stats for copywriters. Here are some stats that I pulled out recently. 36% of people prefer list-based headlines and 17% prefer how-to headlines. I find that how-to headlines make for the best headlines to rank in Google, and list posts that are high numbered often rank in Google easily. I'll show you an example right now. We type in lifestyle blog post ideas. You're going to see high numbers: 358, 121, 231, 365, like 251. These are high list posts that often rank in Google. If you decide to work on the lifestyle niche, the beauty niche as a copywriter, then high list posts will help you rank your client's post easier in Google. If we search make the perfect cup of coffee, let's see if we get any how-tos. Here, number one, how to make the perfect cup of coffee. Another how-to, more how-tos. So it's mixed with some list-based, some rules list-based. Some people thought a list-based would be good for this type of content, but you have to realize the user's intent when creating a how-to type of content. They want a step-by-step. They don't know how to make the perfect cup of coffee, and they want a step-by-step post for that. They don't want rules, things like that. If you can frame it as an how-to with the searcher intent behind it, then that post will rank easily for your client if you are in the coffee niche or any other niche that you can glean a how-to post would do well. Having a hyphen or colon in the headline increased clicks by 9%. 6 to 8 word headlines drive 21% click-through rates, and 11 word headlines get the most shares from Facebook and Twitter. So what are you supposed to make of this? 6 to 8 words is ideal for clicks, but 11 word headlines get shared a lot on Twitter. Also, you don't want to have longer headlines because it'll just cut off on Google. So if I type in Instagram Reel Ideas for engagement, we'll see that this one cuts off 10 unique Instagram Reel Ideas to get people watching something, something, something. Whereas this one, 25 awesome Instagram Reel Ideas for small businesses, fits within the parameters. This one has the brand, so that's okay if it tails off. But ideally, you want to make sure that you have your entire title shown in Google. All right, so for this one, if I was a copywriter, I would probably do 10 unique Instagram Reel Ideas people will watch. Something like that. Instead of get people watching, it's too wordy. You want to be actionable. So 10 unique Instagram Reels ideas people are watching, that people watch. Something like that. And that would fit nicely for Hootsuite of all things. Think about that when you're crafting these types of headlines as a copywriter, that yes, you do want to drive the social traffic of that post, but ultimately if the client wants to rank in Google, you need to craft your headline so that it shows all the words that are important in Google. All right, it says here, we prefer to share single digit articles. Again, I've shown you high list posts, but data shows that single digit articles seem to do well across social media. YouTube headlines with the truth about generated more shares on Twitter of all things. Sharing your YouTube video on Twitter seems to garner more shares. And hyperboles, like much more, most do well across social media and Google. You can just type in what is the best stroller? What is the most words you can write in an hour or something like that, right? Those drive clicks on Google and social media. All right, let's look at some headlines here. As a copywriter, we should use the 50-50 rule when producing content. 50% is spent on headlines. You really need to work on the headlines for your clients and for your own blog if you're trying to rank your blog. So whether you're writing headlines for landing pages, Facebook ads, emails, blog posts, website copy, the headline should speak to the target audience you are writing for. This is crystal clear when you're writing copy for your clients, is understanding their avatar, their audience avatar, who is buying from them. So let's look at some types of headlines. This one's called The Celebrity. I named it The Celebrity, but these headlines I've found over the net. I have attribution at the bottom here. So it's a celebrity and then headline. My example is here. Simone Biles. Mental health isn't a stigma. It's a conversation starter. And here's one for CNBC. Stanford psychology expert. This is the #1 work skill of the future, but most fail to realize it. You're fronting your headline with a well-known person, celebrity kind of thing. So when you attach a celebrity or leader in a space, it immediately uplevels the headline and people feel the material is accurate and high quality. The next headline for copywriters is psychology backed. It's a psychology revelation that's based on information unique to the reader. So my example, New York Times Speaking America reveals evolutionary deep roots. And here's one from Psychology Junkie. Here's how you're intense based on your Myers-Briggs personality type. So you're using the unique information from the reader, using that to create your headline. So how does this work? Anything backed by science exudes officialness and content people must read. When you add personalization, it perks the reader's interest, making them want to know what this is all about. You say that I'm intense because of what? You say that this New York Times speech test shows something different. The next headline is the beginner's guide. So using beginner's guide to something and offering a benefit. So my example is beginner's guide to exercising, losing weight, and eating better. As you can see, that headline is longer. That's going to cut off on Google, but it's a headline that gets shared a lot, has the propensity to get shared a lot. And so for a lot of wellness companies, they share on Instagram, on Facebook, on social media, and this would be a good title for them. So here's something from Squawk Fox, Beginner's Guide to Meal Planning, and then they add save time and money. So that's a shortened version that would probably do well in Google as well as social. Why does this work? When you get specific in your headlines, you reach the right type of audience. These headlines also imply you're doing something wrong. With the example, meal planning can save you money and time, and if you're a mom who spends too much money on food, this will hit you differently. Headlines like these also imply a step-by-step process. Using the word really in your content can really help drive clicks and shares. So how to really activity or end result. My example is how to really clean your Keurig so you don't get sludgy coffee anymore. Now you can put little, asterisks around really if you want, but you don't have to. I'm just noting that out. So here's on YouTube, how to really lose belly fat when you're over 50. So why does this work? Using really implies to the reader that the way they've been doing it has been wrong or misguided all along. Really in the headline also is a trigger to act on the headline. You want to know this headline is the has spent or is it worth it? So the person or the brand has spent money or hours or time on some kind of experiment, product, and if it's worth it, did they learn something from it? My example, how I spent 1 hour writing 4,000 words, and I'll use this method for all my writing. And so in ink, it says why spending $1,000 on an Instagram post might actually be worth it. These are all variations of this type of spent worth kind of headline that could do well in like magazine articles on big publications like Inc. or Forbes. So people love seeing people spend money or spend their time to see what comes of that. The more money or time spent, the more the reader trusts the author's experience we can relate to. And so these are the headlines that I use that drives clicks and conversions as a copywriter. So I use these on social media, but I also use this for ranking in Google. The best X is common to rank in Google. The best writing jobs for beginners I might have on my blog. The X things I wish I knew is a YouTube video of mine. A very popular pin topic that I've seen is doubling your milk supply, but you make it personal, how I doubled my milk supply, how I grew $1 million business. Those personal type of headlines do well in Pinterest. And the X must have or must do well with Google and with social media. 5 must have items for your newborn baby. Things like that. People want those list posts that are all in one place, and that does well in social, but you can't rank it easily. And then my super simple, using that phrase does well if you can fit it in Google. My super simple writing process, boom, that could rank in Google and do well on social. All right, so those are my copywriting templates for you. Take a look at them. Let me know in the comments below. Do you use any of these headline templates? Let me know, and make sure to like my video. And if you haven't subscribed to my video for content like this, I'll see you in the next video.